Hi, it's Jackie. This week we're gonna watch a 1979 American prison action film, Escape from Alcatraz. On a stormy day, Frank gets locked in a strongly fortified prison on the sea. It's placed inside Taiwan Bay. Around here are deep sea and no one lives. This is where they imprison petty crimes that used to escape from jail many times. On the first day here, Frank is called into the office of the warden. His paper shows that Frank's IQ is higher than normal, so the warden warns him not to dream of escaping from here. Unlike other prisons, in here, crimes are locked separately in each room. Their routines are controlled strictly. Since it's built up, no one has succeeded in escaping from here. Unexpectedly, just with a little trick, Frank somehow steals the nail clipper right before this warden. He hides it inside the chink of a notebook. The next day, the jailers need someone to work in the library. He randomly chooses Frank. In here, Frank meets a black guy who managing the library. 10 years ago, he accidentally killed 2 white men. Because of skin color discrimination, he has no right to defend and even gets double the sentence. This black guy is also the leader of crimes here, so his position's also unlike others. He says no one can escape from here. One jailer will be in charge of supervising 3 crimes. One day, they will roll call at least 20 times and get checked again by the warden. The prison is surrounded by a dam, coupled with natural rocks outside which are impossible to break. Digging a channel to escape might just be in a dream. All around are turbulent flows in the dark sea. If someone luckily gets out of jail, he will never reach the shore. Even if he's good at swimming, he won't be able to get through the cruelty of the cold inside the sea. Finally will be drowning in it. No crimes give up the dream of being free from here, but they just feel helpless for it. An old prisoner introduces Frank that there's ventilating conduct connected to the top floor. It's also the best way to escape from here. But this fortified place is basically impossible to get out of. Seeing the escaping thing is hopeless, Frank just can try to behave well. Charlie is the one next to his prison cell. They usually share things with each other whenever having time. One day, there are 2 new prisoners coming in. Coincidentally, Frank and they know each other and even used to escape from jail together. They are sent here also because of unsuccessfully trying to escape, which confuses the jailers here. So they have to send them to Alcatraz. One time, Frank finds an air vent at the corner of his cell. He uses a nail clipper to gradually break each corner of the hole. This new discovery makes Frank really rejoice. When having lunch, Frank suggests escaping plans with the Green brothers. Frank finds out that this prison has gone old for times. Plus, the moist air from the sea makes steels become rusty. Just with a small nail clipper, they can easily pry it off. They need to make a little effort to clear it, then reaching the top floor via this air vent. Frank intends to carry it out at night and use some stuff to cover after that. To distract jailers, they need to make some face heads from old magazines, then leaving it on the bed when they're not here. In the darkness, it won't be easy for jailers to figure it out. Having just got to the jail, but with the agility, the Green brothers have become chief stewards. So they will find a way to rob raincoats and cement glues from here. They also take charge of making a life raft and life jacket to get through the sea. Frank used to work in a barbershop. Plus, he also learns how to make rescue equipment when he worked in the library. They know that the chance to escape from here is really small, but after hearing about Frank's plan, the 2 of them don't hesitate to join in. Charlie also decides to join. One day, Frank's wife visits him and tells him that his mother is about to pass away. Frank is really grieved. Frank's determined to get out of here to be at her side at the last moment. He touches her hand and promises. That night, they begin to carry out the plan. Frank starts prying off while Charlie keeps watching out. But just with a small nail clipper, he has to make lots of effort, but the result is not so positive. When having lunch, the spoon makes Frank come up with an idea. He intentionally makes it dirty to change another. The Green brothers seem to get him. They immediately try to attract the jailer's attention. Then, Frank gets 2 spoons at the same time and puts them into the pocket. But this spoon is too big to pry off the air vent. When the black guy comes to distribute books, Frank asks him if he knows how to weld. Just in a few minutes, 2 of them make a deal. It turns out that the black guy has nourished the hope of escaping from jail for a long time, so he's also pleased to give Frank a hand. With his assistance, Frank learns how to weld. Frank somehow gets a box of matches and hard balls. Then he uses the sharp knife on a nail clipper to get the powders. Then he puts the spoon and the small knife together, welds them to make a tool to pry this hole. In this way, Frank keeps prying every night. During the day, he secretly throws the mashing land on his way to work. Finally, Frank gets it. He teaches other accomplices this technique for them to get to the ventilating duct. At this time, Frank begins to make human head models from clays and papers of magazines. Then he makes an excuse to borrow painters from the jailer to take the next step. Then, Frank takes his other guy's hair to make fake hair and eyebrows. He uses the same watercolors to make a fender and cover the hole he dug. After finishing everything, Frank climbs through the duct leading to the top floor. Out of expectation, over his head has a steel cover, behind is a chimney reinforced firmly with rivets. The Green brothers also stick to this plan. Every day, they will steal a raincoat to hide in the ventilating duct. In short, they have prepared well for this time's escaping. The only obstacle is how to get rid of that steel cover. When they are listening to the music, Frank suddenly sees a mini electric fan not far from him. He sneakily puts it into a musical instrument box and takes it away. Then Frank gets drills and electric wires from someone at work, then connects them to make electric drills and taps into a light. With this tool, Frank manages to break the steel cover first, then use this handmade electric drill to handle these rivets. Everything is ready. They intend to take action on Tuesday evening. Unexpectedly, a jailer comes to check Frank's room. But this guy has made a fake fender to pass his face. So the jailer doesn't find anything abnormal. Still, he's worried that this high IQ guy will probably bluff them. After discussing with his subordinate, Frank will be moved to another cell on Tuesday. This sudden visit makes Frank feel insecure a little bit. He decides to take action sooner on Monday. That night, Frank leaves his fake head on the bed and climbs into the air vent. Meanwhile, Charlie doesn't dare to go. He's really conflicted and doesn't know what to do. Coming to this, Frank has no other choice. Can't wait for Charlie anymore. He and the Green brothers climb up to the roof. Charlie finally thinks though, he kicks the fender and escapes, but his accomplices have gone. The cover is too high from the floor, only Charlie is impossible to reach there. Charlie falls into hopelessness. At this time, his peers have climbed down the pipelines and escape. They use rescuing tools to get through the grid and head for the shore. Then they quickly pipe up life rafts and life jackets. They jump down and disappear into the deep sea. The next morning, the jailer comes to call Frank to change the room. The fake head almost scares the crap out of him. They immediately deploy boats, diving teams, helicopters to find these three crimes everywhere on the sea. But they can't find anything more than some remains of the prisoners. The warden guesses that they must be drowning in the deep sea, or else they won't leave such important parts here. As a result, they still can't find their bodies, though. 1 year after the incident, this prison also closes. Escape from Alcatraz was released in 1979, even sooner than The Shawshank Redemption. It's also referred to be its founder. Intriguingly, this film is actually based on a real story. They continuously seek the trace of these three crimes but get no result. It's also the most famous warrant ever in America. If you search on the map, Alcatraz prison is actually Alcatraz Island of America, Devil Island. Since it closed, this place has become a tourist attraction. Okay, that's the end. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Jackie will be back soon.